Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Friday, April 8th. And you can see temperatures out there this morning mainly in the mid to upper 20s. And it's about 5 to 8 degrees colder today than we were yesterday. And for sure, we've got a very ugly weekend coming up with plenty of opportunities for snowfall. And then eventually it'll change the rain. And the good news, though, is that change over to rain on Sunday will spell the beginning of the end of our winter pattern, and we're going to be going into a much milder one. In fact, over the 8 to 14 day outlook is calling for warmer than normal temperatures, and we'll take a look at that in a moment. But again, pretty cold weekend coming up. We got a chance of snow that'll move into the area today. I think most locations will see at least an inch of snow. It's going to be hard to accumulate with temperatures in the mid 30s to around 40, but I think as we get towards evening and the heaviest rates of snow will fall during the late afternoon into the early evening, I think we'll see accumulations. Right now, the best bet is the area from around Ludington or Manistee down to about St. John's and north towards Port Huron. Looks like it'll be in the kind of the bullseye where I think 1 to 3, maybe even some areas could get 4 inches. But again, most of it will accumulate on grassy areas, as I think for the most part during the day the roadways should be just wet. If we take a look around the Great Lakes, you can see again mainly 20s across the area. Our low pressure system will be moving into east central Wisconsin and then down into Lake Michigan, into southern lower Michigan, and then off to the east here over the next 24 hours. If we take a look at our normals for today, our normal high is 51, the normal low is 29, and we'll continue to see those rise quite a bit here over the next 2 weeks. If we look at the radar from the College of DuPage, and you can see as we look from the Green Bay radar site, you can see that snow breaking out across the area. It'll expand and increase in coverage here over the next 6 hours as it begins to move into the state. If we look at the next slide, Houston, I'm not alone. Looks like somebody in there early at Marlette this morning. Not a whole lot to see outside. If we look at the weather map by 7 a.m. this morning, you can see the low pressure system around the Green Bay area is going to drop into southeast or southwest lower Michigan and then pivot off to the east and then to the northeast. And again, that'll bring a band of snow to much of the area. Again, not heavy amounts. And then we're going to keep our eye on this system here. You can see it'll begin to move off to the northeast. That's going to be our Sunday system, and it looks like it could be a pretty decent wet system. As we'll look at the precipitation totals here soon. You can see by 1 o'clock today the low pressure system down near the Jackson area, again moving off to the east and southeast, bringing that band of snow to much of the area. And by 1 a.m. Saturday morning, you can see that low pressure now just to the east of Sandusky and Cleveland area, again moving away. With the trough back across the southern part of the state, we'll still see snow and snow showers at least into the morning hours on Saturday. Looks like most of the Saturday will be dry, and then we'll see precipitation from this system here. That's going to be moving pretty quickly off to the northeast. Again, that's going to spread the warm air, and we can see that on Sunday morning's map already spreading a band of snow. And some of this could be on the very heavy side. It may not last more than 4 to 6 hours, but we'll have to watch just how quickly that warm air is able to eat away at the lower cold levels. And again, it's even depicting some sleet and freezing rain off to the southwest part of the state back into Illinois and northern Indiana. And again, this system needs to be watched very closely. We could see advisories, not even impossible. We could see winter storm warning type snows someplace here in the lower peninsula. But again, right now the best bet is about 1 to 3, 2 to 4 inches. But certainly the potential is there for quite a bit more snow in a very quick period of time, making visibility is very difficult, perhaps on Sunday morning. If we look at the precipitation expected over the next 5 days, this was yesterday's map, and if you look at yesterday's video, I said this is probably going to be quite a bit more than what they're depicting here, quarter to half inch, and you can see the new 5-day outlook right in the area of about an inch to an inch and a quarter. So this is pretty much what I expected with that southwest storm, that it would have quite a bit of moisture associated with that. So you can see the concern about how quickly we change over to rain, but we will change over to rain temperatures by later Sunday. Look to get into at least the 40s. Now it could hold into the upper 30s across central and northern Michigan, and we could break into the 50s across the south. Again, we're just going to have to wait and see how quickly that warm front moves through the area, if it does at all. If we look at the next map, you can see some of the computer models are all very similar. This is a Canadian over the next 3 days, the next 72 hours. You can see it actually puts a very heavy band of snow across parts of the area, and whether that band sets up here, up here or even at all. It's still really unknown right now. But again, it shows quite a bit of potential. If we look at the GFS model, also pretty much in that same area, showing the potential for accumulations of over 6 inches for some locations. And it is to be noted that the European model also is very similar to these two maps of confidence, is pretty high. And finally, if we look at the WPC 72-hour forecast, again, pretty much that northwest to southeast area, little bit farther north, but even very appreciable snow amounts even around the Lansing area, back towards Muskegon, and down towards the Detroit area as well. So definitely a round of winter coming up for this weekend with two separate systems that'll be heading this way. And then finally, I think we break into a spring-like pattern. And you can see that here on the 8 to 14-day outlook. Much of the U.S. becoming warmer than normal. And this will be especially true in the later part of this. Again, as we expected around the mid-month, we would begin to warm up. And you can see that's pretty much going to be the case here, it looks like, as we definitely have a pattern change on the way. And with that, we may begin to dry out somewhat, which will help us get into the fields. Thanks for stopping by and have a great day, a great weekend, and 73s to all.